Hi all, welcome to the presentation of Malayalam poetry in the 20th century, in which we are going to deal with the first generation romantics in Malayalam poetry. The high tide of Renaissance was brought into Malayalam literature by a variety of influences. The familiarity our poets acquired with British romantic poets was one of them. There were in 19th century Kerala as in 18th century England a number of precursors of the Romantic movement. One of the most gifted of them was V.C. Balakrishna Panikkar, the marvelous boy of Malayalam poetry. In his short life, he was able to make a tremendous breakthrough in the language and sensibility of Malayalam poets. His most important poems are Oru Vilapam and Vishwarupam. The former, Oru Vilapam or A Lament, is a major elegy in Malayalam. The poet who most clearly symbolizes the poetic revolution in the first quarter of the 20th century is Kumaran Ashan. His early discipleship of Srinarayana Guru and his Sanskrit studies at Bangalore, Madras and Calcutta were important influences on his poetic development. The 3.5 years he spent outside Kerala provided him with a kind of broad outlook and deep sensibility which would have perhaps have been impossible if he had stayed at home. A deep moral and spiritual commitment became part of Ashan's personality, and when after a spell of writing devotional poetry he turned to secular themes, he could produce something without any precedent in the language. Veenapuvu, or A Fallen Flower, which was published in 1907, combines the lyrical and the elegiac with the romantic. Yet, the relaxed discipline of a classical training was always there to add a deeper tone to his close investigation of the meaning of life as seen in the brief career of a flower. Ashan did not try to write a neoclassical Mahakavya. Instead, he specialized in the narratives of middle length. Nalini, which was published in 1911, Leela in 1914, Chindavishtiya Sita in 1919, Duravastha in 1922, Chandalabhikshigi and Karuna in 1923 are eloquent testimony to Ashan's powers of poetic concentration and dramatic contextualization. Ashan is often described as the poet of love. Many writers have written about love, but Ashan's love is of a transcendental kind, and in poems after poems, Nalini, Leela, Chandalabhikshigi, he demonstrates it. For him, it was identical with ultimate and absolute freedom, as he explains it in The Song of Freedom. In Sita, his reflections on love turn a bit bitter as the situation perhaps deserves it. In Duravastha, it achieves a slight transformation, since he tries to seek love's meaning in terms of contemporary reality. It is set against the historical background of the Mappala rebellion, but Ashan, the poet, is basically concerned with the establishment of the idea that all men belong to the same caste and same religion as he was taught by Srinarayana Guru. Ashan as a poet was a great synthesizer. He wrote two major poems on Buddhist legends, Chandalabhikshigi and Karuna. They were his last works, written before his untimely death in 1924. Love, freedom, and equality are his basic concerns. Ashan's career illustrates the changes that were taking place in the Malayalam poetry of his time. His earliest works were mainly hymns employing Sanskritized diction and Sanskrit meters. With Veenapuvu, which was published in 1907, his sensibility registers a change. The diction is simplified, and although Sanskrit meters are used, they have a closeness by now to the easy and flowing Dravidian meters. The pessimistic note is replaced by a more harsh note in some of the later poems. The use of a focal character Most of such characters are women like Nalini and Sita, as protagonist helps to dramatize the whole experience of the poem. In the shorter poems and in Prarodhanam, an elegy with a splendid and resonant orchestration, the style fluctuates. But in his last three poems, Dravidian meters are used. The diction is natural and simple. Karuna is the culminating point of this trend. That's all about Kumaran Ashan. Moving to the next romantic poet of Malayalam literature, Ullur S. Parameshwara Iyer. Ullur S. Parameshwara Iyer was born in 1877 and died on 1949. Ullur, the second of the grand poetic trinity of the 20th century Renaissance in Malayalam, started his career as a poet under the guardianship of Keralavarma Valiyakoi Tamburan. He was a master in all the traditional games of classical poetry. He even excelled as the writer of a Mahakavya by choosing a story from early Kerala history. Uma Keralam, his Mahakavya, is a work of great devotion. Devotion to the land, to the language, to a poetic tradition, and to high moral values. He wrote, like Ashan and Vallathol, a number of short narratives or Khandakavyas, of which the most famous are Karnabhushanam and Pingala. In the former, he celebrates Karna's infinite generosity and dedication to principles. In the later, he tries to portray the transformation of a courtesan overnight into a pious and refined character, almost a saint. Ullur also wrote quite a large number of lyrics and shorter pieces, now available in various collections. They cover a wide range from eulogies to kings and friends to the poetry of social commitment. Ullur was perhaps the most classical and the least romantic of the three poets. It must be remembered that Ullur was one of the first of our full-fledged poets to achieve the benefits of formal education up to postgraduate level from a university. He was thus exposed to the influence of English poetry through classroom instruction. Ashan and Vallathol had only informal contact with English poetry. Neither of them could have, on the basis of their training, written a work like Ullur's monumental History of Kerala Literature. But Ashan, through self-study, and Vallathol, partially by his native gift and partially through indirect channels, became imbued with the spirit of Romanticism. All the three began as classists, graduated into Romanticism, and finally peeped into Realism. All of them wrote their best poems during the second phase. Ullur cultivated the classical lyric with its severe discipline over the structure and its ultimate didactic motivation. He could say with Wordsworth that he was a teacher or nothing. What was important was that the reader should be enabled to experience in full the wonder and excitement that was the source of inspiration for the poem itself. Ullur is interested not in the communication of that experience through the senses but in distilling the abstract moral value of that experience. Thus, even in his best lyrics, he adds almost mechanically, like Coleridge at the end of The Ancient Mariner, a moral. Being suspicious of his subjective evaluation, he would evoke some values approved of by the masters of the past. His master was Sri Harsha, not Kalidasa. Ullur's idea of transcendental love is clearly brought out in his Prema Sangeetham, otherwise the music of love, which concludes with the poet's total self-dedication to God. That's all about the poet Ullur S. Parameshwara Iyer. Moving to the next poet, Vallathol Narayana Menon. Vallathol's training was in classicism, but his native genius was romantic. The spirit of a renaissance was in the air and Vallathol breathed it majestically. He took part in all the neoclassical games of poetry and even wrote a Mahakavya, but his reputation today is firmly based on his middle-length narratives like Bendhanisthanaya Aniruddhan, Aniruddhan in Prison, which was published in 1914, Shishyanum Maganum, Discipline and Son, which was published in 1918, Magdalena Mariam, Mary Magdalene, which was published in 1921, and the shorter lyrics contained in the early volumes of Sahitya Manjari. He was the most sensuous of the three poets, most at home in the description of the world we live in and the life we live. National consciousness, self-afloat by the International Congress, and the men like Gokhale, Tilak and Gandhi gave a contemporary relevance to his poems extolling India's past glory. In poems like Puranangal, Karmabhumiyude Pinjugal, Ende Gurunathan, Pora Pora, and numerous other lyrics, Vallathol gave chiseled expression in this newly awakened nationalism both in political and cultural terms. But perhaps more than these poems with a political orientation and an immediate cultural relevance, his poems about the less spectacular aspects of everyday life in Kerala villages will have a lasting value. To the people of his own generation, every word he wrote about Indian culture was a fresh revelation of the nationalist spirit. After 1925, perhaps some of these less inspired poems could not make this appeal as effective as before. He could describe a Kerala landscape more imaginatively than earlier poets. He could portray women characters in short poems with considerable effect like Usha in Bendhanisthanaya Aniruddhan, Mariam in Magdalena Mariam, Radha in Radhayude Kritarthada, Shakuntala in Achanum Maganum, etc. It is interesting to note that Ashan, Ullur and Vallathol could do ample justice to their heroines while their heroes are allowed to pale into relative meekness and insignificance. Only Karna in Ullur's Karnabhushanam could be thought of an exception. One of Vallathol's perfect achievements is a dramatic poem based on the Puranic story of Vishwamitra and Shakuntala. Written with the maximum concentration and close attention to every syllable, this dramatic narrative reads like a scene left out by Kalidasa in his Shakuntalam to be written during his 20th century incarnation. Magdalena Mariam is a dramatic rendering of the spiritual conversion of a professional courtesan into a Christian way of life through prayer and penance. This was perhaps the first time an episode from a Western source, that is from Bible in that case, was exploited in this way by a Malayalam poet. Vallathol no doubt orientalizes the whole setting. Christ is almost identified with Krishna, thus the East and the West met together in the realm of poetry. Vallathol could not shake off his national heritage and he was more at home in poems like Achanum Maganum, Shishyanum Maganum and Kochusida. His shorter lyrics in Sahitya Manjari are a veritable storehouse of memorable word pictures. Bhaktiyam Vibhaktiyam, Prabhata Geetham, A Walk in the Rain, A Boat Journey, Bharatapuzha and a Picture are examples of Vallathol's special talent in evoking a kind of country music by the perfect disposition of word and image. As against the political poet, here we have the real spokesman of Indian culture, the genuine lover of nature, the perfect welder of words. In other areas, he could be imitated and even surpassed. Here, he was supreme without an equal. That's all about the topic, the first generation romantics in Malayalam poetry. Hope you understood the topic. Thank you for watching.